briefing. I'm Maria Pope, President and CEO of Portland General Electric, and today I'm joined by Dale Goodman, our Director of Utility Operations, and Quentin Gaddis, our Senior Manager of Substation and Meter Operations. I'd like to provide an update on the restoration and outage progress that we have made over the weekend. As I mentioned last week, we've experienced 10 times more damage to our system than the 2020 wildfire storms. Nearly half of PGE customers, more than 420,000 customers were impacted by outages during these storms. Nearly a quarter of our customers are experiencing multiple outages, 2, 3, 4, even 6 outages over the course of these 3 storm events. Ongoing wind, as well as ice and tree damage, continue to impact our system's wires and poles, making restoration very challenging. I appreciate that being without power for long periods of time is extremely frustrating, and particularly for those who are having challenges getting you accurate restoration times and being challenged by additional events that are affecting the system, as well as those taking care of elders, as well as children, or those who are medical conditions. We continue to make progress to get your power back on, but not as quickly as we all would like. As of 2 p.m. today, we had 24,000 customers without power. I can report news that we're in the final 2 stages of power restoration. Quentin will share more about what this means for the work in the field. As we think about this last stretch of work, it is the hardest on our crews. While we know that we have over 5,000 points of equipment damage to our system that still needs to be addressed, at this point, the repairs only bring back power to about 10 customers at a time. It's really slow going given the amount of damage. We're putting all available resources to getting customers' power back on. This morning, we had again over 400 crews working in our service area, and I can't say enough about the mutual assistance crews joining our teams from utilities across Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, as far north as British Columbia, and as far south as Southern California. We know and appreciate that it is very hard to be without power, particularly for this long. And we have been working closely with state, local, and community leaders since the onset of these storms. And together, we are supporting customers in their time of need. Additionally, we've been coordinating with officials on larger efforts, including road and highway closures, and a huge thanks to ODOT, who has helped us with our restoration and getting your power back on by shutting down 4 of our busiest highways for restoration during the last couple of days. I'd now like to turn it over to Quentin Gaddis to share more about our final restoration phases and how we're getting your power back on. Quentin?
Thank you, Maria. So now that we're in the final 2 phases of our power restoration, let's think about what got us here. So with the storm, we all came together, and once that storm hit, first thing we had to do is think about safety. Safety is always number 1 in everything that we do. That safety is for the public, and that safety is for our personnel that are out doing the work. From that safety and making sure the scene and the work is safe to do, now we moved into reassuring that our generation was right. We wanted to make sure that we had power to our generation facilities to ensure that we were able to continue to produce power for the customer. And we moved in to make sure that our transmission lines were right. Many hours, crews worked to take care of all the transmission lines that were out. And those transmission lines are the highways to the substations. Once we took care of the transmission lines and we got transmission to the substations, we then moved in to ensure the substations were ready to provide a safe and efficient transformation to the distribution. Now we've gotten past that, and this is when it gets tough. Now we are on the highway of the distribution, and those are our feeders. That distribution highway is sending this power to the customer, and this is kind of where we are right now. We're off of that distribution highway no more. So anytime we close a breaker and we pick up 600, 1,000, or 2,000 customers and get those big wins, those big wins we're not going to get them anymore. Now it comes down to 10 customers, and that the 10 customers is not just a big win for these crews. These 10 customers, it becomes rewarding to our crews to see these customers come up. This is what they join this business to do, is to get down to these 10 customers. It becomes personal now. We are now in the neighborhoods of our customers. It wasn't before. It was, we were energizing a substation. A lot of people were energized. Now it's personal, and it feels personal to our crews. This is what they love to do. So they are willing to do this in the elements. They're willing to trek through hard access areas. They're willing to work through fatigue. They are here to do all of this for you, the customer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Dale Goodman, and Dale Goodman is going to explain in detail how tough it is for these crews. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Quentin. And thanks for everyone for joining us today. So I had an interesting conversation yesterday with a lineman that came from the East Coast and is now a Northwest lineman. He said this is more damage than he worked on in Superstorm Sandy when it comes to vegetation and down lines. So that gives you an indication of how bad this is in comparison to other disasters around the country. It's bad, right? But we have the best of the best working on this. We have 1,700 folks out there that take much pride in keeping the power on. And when the power's off, they keep equal amount of pride to get it back on. And they're not going to stop until it's done. Each of these employees want nothing more than to energize your homes. And right now, in the phase we're in, these last two, as Quentin and Maria had mentioned, those are some of the most tenuous and laborious parts of the job. They're very difficult at times. And I can tell you this from firsthand experience. Just imagine if you drive up a road in any county on the east side, west side, and you look at the right-of-way that's just natural Oregon vegetation, trees and underbrush. And now imagine trying to string lines through that to people's homes. That's what we're going to be facing in the days ahead. We're going to be facing one at a time, okay? 5 at a time. We have 10 times the normal amount of those type of jobs than we would usually have if there was any normalcy to a storm, let's say. In a storm of this magnitude, having this many small outages is unprecedented in our history. But I can assure you, we're not going to stop until we get to every last customer. Please be patient. We haven't forgotten about you. Our employees care about you. Our mutual aid contractors care, and our contractors care as well. We are here for you, and we are here to get your power restored. Last, I want to say a couple things. One is there are a couple community actions that are going on out in Silverton. The Wood and Nickel restaurant offering free food to our crews. Thank you for that. I was in Silverton yesterday and talked to many customers, and even some that are still out, and they still have gratitude for what we're trying to accomplish and what we're up against. I thank you for your patience, and we are coming to energize your homes. We also had a group of kids who promptly did a parade for a line crew when they energized their facility that they were in. And that warms the hearts of these men and women that are out there trying to get every inch back together so that you can have power to your home. So we haven't forgot, we're in this to the end, and we want to make sure that you know that. So is there any, with that, we'll turn it over back to Maria.
Great. Thank you so much, Dale and Quentin. And now we'll take some questions.
Thanks, Maria. The first question, Quentin, this might be for you. Brenna Kelly from KPTV. A family in Southeast Salem says they're one of only a couple dozen customers on their street still without power. Power has been restored all around them, but they feel left behind, and they've reported their damage multiple times. Can you explain this?
Yes, and this is exactly what we're talking about in terms of getting down to the final stages. That's going to happen quite frequent, to be honest with you. But what I would say is the crews are there. There's many reasons why the power may not be on to that home. I will tell you that all of these cases are being worked through our dispatch team, and no one's going to be left behind. So just hang in there. We're going to work hard to get to them, and it's what we're here to do and what we want to do. So thank you.
Thanks, Quentin. One from Keaton Thomas at K2. Maria, this one might be for you. Can you please tell me the best estimate for returning power to the final customers still dealing with an outage? And secondly, is fatigue setting in for the crews that have been working over the past week?
Thank you. I would love to give you a more precise estimate of when power will be restored. But unfortunately, as we take 2 steps forward, Mother Nature pushes us back. As an example, just last night in Tigard and Tualatin, we again lost power to additional customers due to high wind events, and it set us back. Our crews are exhausted, but they know, as Quentin just noted, our work is important, and we will not stop working 24/7 till we get every customer's power restored.
Thanks, Maria. Dale, a question for you. Did you mention 5,000 points of damage that still needs to be repaired? And can you give us a sense of how you prioritize the work left?
Sure, good question. The priority of the work is the most we can restore to the least we can restore, and that's and it's dependent upon resources, which we have over 350 crews working on this. So in this situation, we're going to put folks out where we can restore the most, the quickest, but also the damage that needs to be removed and repaired is also a high priority as well. So heavily damaged and the most customers we can restore with one repair to the least. That is how we prioritize.
Any additional questions? Please put them in the chat. We're happy to get to them.
Okay, it looks as if there are no additional questions. I want to thank everyone for their understanding and their patience through this frustrating process. We are at the final 2 stages of our restoration. Crews have worked tirelessly all weekend to get customers back online, and we will continue working until every last customer's energy is back on. Thank you for joining us today, and this concludes our media briefing. Thank you.